Greetings and salutations, my name is JW608 and today I am playing StarMade. And today we are going back to the basics. The basics of factory making, or crafting, if you will. Even crafting factories. Alright, because we got all those resources mining. Well, actually I didn't, I'm creative, but theoretically you have all those resources mining, so what do you do with them? Well, if you are not in creative and you go into inventory, you have craft, cargo, and creative mode. You probably won't have creative mode, but if you go to craft, refine raw materials, craft generic resources, and craft basic factory. These are all built into your suit. So you can refine raw materials. So if you got some of this Nox or some of this Masset, you can throw that in your suit factory and it generates metal mesh and crystal composite. Metal mesh and crystal composite, those are the two building blocks of the universe. Everything, or practically everything, is comprised of metal mesh and crystal composite. So we're going to pull those out of my raw mining materials because this is the absolute worst way to refine raw materials, but it's the way you're going to at first because this is all you got. Then you can craft generic materials. You can turn scrap into metal mesh, capsules into composite or mesh, which you very seldom want to do. So if I throw that, that shouldn't do anything. Let's see, let's make sure it doesn't do anything. Tick. This is a tick, by the way. The time it takes from here to here is a factory tick. You also have storage ticks as well, but we'll talk about those later. Then the other thing you can do in your suit is craft a basic factory. It takes 10 metal mesh and 10 crystal composite. We have 20. So if we put those in here. Oh, no, or 10 metal mesh or 10 crystal composite. There we go. So now we have 3 basic factories. We can get 4 basic factories out of the stuff we did. All right. The basic factory is just what it says, a basic factory. So let's pull that out and... Now this is a little cheaty, but you can do this. You can use these as extra pockets. You can put stuff that doesn't belong there, and it actually drops your volume. So if you have 97, I have 97 units of volume. This is still on my person. It's still in my suit, but I have 92 now. 77. 76. And so on and so forth. So you can cheat the system just a little bit. Actually, I've never really filled this part. Yeah, you can keep going. There we go. I have all this junk in my pocket, and I'm only at 66 units of weight. It's a pain in the backside to do it, but you can do that if you really want to. Alright, let's stop cheating, and I do have a flashlight on. Turn off my flashlight, and hop into my station. I built me a station. Not a very complex station. It has a lot of power and stabilizers, but nothing else. Alright, so first of all, we're going to need some storage and factories. There's a basic factory, a standard factory, and an advanced factory. You also have things like the capsule refinery, the microassembler, and the factory enhancer. All these blocks are blocks you're going to need for building your factory. First of all, we're going to talk about cargo spaces. We touched on them very briefly with mining. We're going to pop down here. This is a storage block, and you also have cargo blocks. Cargo blocks are interesting. They're sort of like the pickup rails. They're invisible, but they're there. And what they do is they add more storage to your storage block. When you look at a storage block and press R, it's going to be this right here. This is what we have in storage. Tell you what, let's add some more of these, except let's add lots of them because I have lots of stuff. There we go. Oh, I don't have those selected. And you have to... Oh, no, they do. It takes a little while, though. All right, you got it. See, that is Now I have 1 million volume of storage, which is sufficient for today. And you can name your storages. We have auto pull. You can change items to auto pull. We'll talk about that later-ish. All right. Then we have a basic factory. Basic factory. Plop that down. It said insufficient energy. It lied. Sometimes it'll throw that when you first put it down. To use a factory, first of all, you open it up. Then you can deactivate production. That turns off the ticks. You can set the name if you want to. Don't have to. Sometimes it might be easier. And you can change production. Use the slot for recipes. These are all the things you can make in a basic factory. Let's see. We want to make... we would like to make carved Larimar. All right. So I can view the recipe. Carved Larimar requires Larimar capsules, 30 of them to make one. And we can set a cap. So if I only want to make 500 of them. So otherwise it would make forever. So let's find some Larimar capsules. Larimar capsules. We're going to throw in a few. Actually, we're going to... No. Oh, those... Rotten machine. All right, Larimar capsules. We throw in all the Larimar capsules. And notice it is overproduction. Over capacity. Because you can attach storage units to or cargo spaces, I'm sorry, to factories as well. So now it has 500,000 storage. It's fine. So it's going to build, let's change that to 11 instead. So it's going to pull 30 of these with every tick. It'll pull 30 of these and create one Larimar block. Except now I've hit the cap. It won't do anymore. So you can go 0 and uncap it. So now it will produce them until it runs out of base materials. The standard, oops, I don't want that quite yet. Standard and advanced factories work the exact same. You have a production, just you have different things. Like you have to build buttons in standard factories. And, well, I want to build a button. Can I just build an advanced factory? Nope. They are not stacking, if you will, or they don't progress. They're not backwards compatible. Each one has its own thing it creates, or its own set of things it creates. So you're going to need all 3 factories, basically. In fact, this will create basic hull, standard armor, and advanced armor. That's the way I think of it, or remember it. So to create advanced armor, you're going to need 3 factory blocks working together. And let's just give these guys a little extra cargo space as well. So I have something to play with. There we go. Oops. That's off, but it's close enough. So it's going to keep ticking away at carved Larimar until the end of time. And this isn't going to do anything because it doesn't have any production. Oh, no, it's making buttons. View the recipe. It needs mesh and crystal composite. Well, how do we get mesh and crystal composite? I don't remember mining any of that. Well, that's where our capsule refinery comes in handy. Our capsule refinery refines capsules. And also mesh and all that good stuff. We'll throw that on there. All right. So, what you do here is you take your stuff and you throw it in. Your things you've acquired, your Masset, your Nox, your ore, and your crystals, or shards, you throw in here, and they convert them to the appropriate capsule. Like Masset creates Masset capsules, Nox creates Nox capsules, Rammet capsules, and so on and so forth. They also generate metal mesh and crystal composite as a byproduct. So this button, it wants what? It wants metal mesh and crystal composite. So you could come in here, say, oh, I have metal mesh and crystal composite. I'm going to grab them, put them in my inventory, carry them here, and drop them off. Or you could do this. C on the standard, V there. And now when we tick, it pulls out the materials from this storage into this one, and we'll build forever, and well, not really, well, practically forever, because this is going to be producing for a long time. But it's going to be producing very slowly. What if I want to make it faster? Well, that's where the factory enhancer comes into place. See, watch, the massive crystals are going to go up by 5. They're going to go up by 5 every tick, because 1 ore makes 5 crystals. Let's pop down one of these guys. This is a factory enhancer. It has to be grouped or connected to your factory. This works on any factory, assembler, and refinery. Now watch. It goes up 10. So this basically multiplies the, or not really multiplies it, it increases the productivity of whatever factory it's attached to. See, now we're going up a lot. And there we go. Now we're making better progress. We're doing, what, 20,000? Come on. Yeah, we're processing 10,000 resources per tick. And that's pretty quick. Also, interestingly, the factory tick for capsules is faster than a factory tick. Huh, I didn't realize that. That's also your pull tick here. We'll talk about pulling and sorting and all that jazz later. Today's just the basics. So, pop down your factory, you put stuff in it, you tell it what to make, and if it has the stuff in its inventory or a connected inventory, makes it. Are you still? Yeah. And we can grab him and we can tell him, probably don't want that many. There we go. Stick that there. And now it's going to make a whole bunch of them at once. Like 600 of them at once. And sometimes you want that many, sometimes you don't want a factory producing that much. It depends on what you're trying to do. And this is the bare bone basics of crafting, and you can make practically any block in the game. Now, you can't make resources, you can't make like bastion shards or Parcine shards. You can't do that, but any of these other blocks here, you can practically make anything in the game. Any manufactured block in the game using these 3 blocks. With this one probably, well, that one being very important. There's also the macro assembler. It's a little less useful. What it does is it breaks things down. Like it will break down capsules. It breaks them down to crystal composite or metal mesh or whatever you need. The primary use for these are for scrap. When you get scrap metal, they'll turn it into decent metal at a 5-to-1, and then it changes capsules into their base crystal or metal mesh. So it's useful, but not as useful as the others. Anywho, I have been JW608. This has been StarMade, and I will do you cats later.